Hello everyone, my name is Derek and welcome to the Netflix Know-How, the review show here to help you stop browsing and start watching. Today we have Creep 2, the sequel to the Mark Duplass indie thriller Creep. Bet you didn't know they made a sequel. Cause I sure didn't until I stumbled my way onto it by pure accident. For those of you that did not see the first movie, Creep was about a weird dude who likes to wear a scary wolf mask and kill people for the heck of it. I did also review the movie, so if you're interested in watching that, go ahead and follow the link down below in the description. Going into Creep 2, I wasn't really sure what to expect because the first film didn't exactly lend itself to the idea of a sequel. Not saying that a sequel couldn't have been made out of the first movie, but despite what the big movie studios might think, a sequel needs to have a strong narrative reason to exist, not just a financial one, and so I just wasn't really sure where exactly they could take the story after the events of the first movie. Having said that, I was pleasantly surprised with Creep 2. The movie starts off with our hero, I'm using that term pretty loosely in this sense, as he recruits yet another person off of Craigslist to be his unwitting next victim. It's basically the exact same setup as the first movie. A woman responds to the ad online, she goes to this house in the middle of the woods, pretty remotely located, and Mark Duplass wants her to make a movie about him, and then he proceeds to act like a total weirdo the whole time. So of course I was a little scared that this movie was just going to be a rehash of the first Creep movie, which for the record is never an acceptable reason to make a sequel. No, I don't care how much money The Hangover made. But then something happens. Mark Duplass gets naked. No, wait, that's not what I meant to say. I mean, yes, technically that does happen in this movie, but that is not the thing that makes Creep 2 a suddenly very interesting movie. I'm trying to figure out how to word this without spoiling the reveal, which is a really cool moment in the movie, but essentially, this is not a movie about finding the next nameless victim. It's about a man finally reaching the end of his journey, if that makes sense. Basically, our lovable serial killer friend here has decided that his time has come, and he has hired this person not so that he can gain her trust and then slit her throat afterwards, but so that she can actually document him as a person so that his life and legacy can be known to the world. Of course, you'd think that any rational person upon hearing this would be like, oh hell no, I'm getting the f out of here. But the thing about her is that she is also a narcissistic sociopath looking for her own claim to fame, and what better way to do that than by filming an actual serial killer? It's this dynamic between the two of them that suddenly turns it from just another slasher horror movie into something more of a deep character study that channels really, really strong themes of depression and loneliness and insecurity. The dynamic between them is absolutely fascinating to watch. It's almost like witnessing two lovers who are a perfect match and destined to be together, but at the same time are also terrible influences and bring out the very worst in each other. It's like watching a sexy, aggressive mating dance between two tigers, and one wrong move between either of them could spell blood all over the entire jungle. I have to admit, I'm really impressed with the direction that they took this creepy serial killer character in. It was interesting and refreshing and just really fascinating to watch. Unfortunately, I do think that the third act becomes a little bit campy. It basically just reverted back into a cartoony slasher flick, and even though it was well done and there were some really well-earned jump scares in it, it wasn't that interesting, and they could have done something a bit better with these characters, a bit more complex and engaging. It also crossed that threshold where I was beginning to have trouble suspending my disbelief. I mean, come on, these aren't superheroes with magical healing abilities. There's only so many times that you can get stabbed in the back and still be able to get up and keep running. Plus, there's a cliffhanger ending, and considering my initial skepticism about Creep 2 to begin with, I really don't see how they could possibly spawn a decent Creep 3 out of this. There were also a few moments here and there where the editing felt a little bit choppy. It would sometimes abruptly jump from one scene to the next with basically no warning at all, and it left me feeling kind of disoriented, and I had to take a minute to sort of step back and figure out what was going on and where I was in the story now. Honestly though, those are all kind of minor gripes in the grand scheme of things, and Creep 2 is still a pleasant, or should I say unpleasant, surprise. It took a potentially redundant story and put a fresh spin on it, and then it also took this really unsettling and creepy character and fleshed him out in a truly captivating and mesmerizing fashion. Creep 2 did what I thought was going to be an impossible task, and it managed to creep its way into the soulless black hole of my heart. Thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I try to upload on a regular basis. You can also head over to Facebook and over to Twitter and follow me on there. And as always, if you want to know your flicks, you know where to click. Happy hunting, guys. I'll see you next time.